What's up, everybody? We're back for episode number 9. This is Bryce.
This is Ethan.
It's T.
And we are here to talk some sports like we always do. And we also have an awesome interview coming up with the starting quarterback for New Mexico State. T, what else do we have in the interview today?
Yeah, we'll talk for the interview.
Or the podcast.
Podcast. All right, we'll talk a lot about the NBA. To break down, we're continuing our playoff breakdowns. We'll talk a little bit about each series and go into context and into some detail about stuff. We're going to talk about some free agency. It's coming up faster than you think, and then of course the Kentucky Derby happened this weekend, so we're talking about that. And then, obviously, we're going to break down the New Mexico State football schedule and give our predictions. And then we got some NMSU sports for you guys. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, the NMSU football schedule breakdowns will be lots of fun.
Yeah, seriously.
And then we also are going to we're doing that in honor of having Josh Adkins on the pod. So and we're going to have Ethan for the podcast, but we're not going to have him for the interview. He has some personal business to take care of.
Yep, but I'm also going to hit you guys with an interesting sport later on.
Oh yeah, we do have.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
cool.
That's a surprise.
Cool.
Yeah, surprise.
Right, so we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back after this to start our podcast.
Quick reminder here: this podcast is brought to you by Anchor, which is by far the most efficient way to start your own podcast. Anchor has all the tools you need to start your own podcast, which are easily available straight from your phone or computer. All these tools are free of charge, so go over and get started.
Editing your podcast on Anchor is easier than ever, and making your podcast sound great is a breeze. One perk of Anchor is that making money is extremely easy, and there is no minimum listenership.
Another thing that's great about Anchor is that it will distribute your podcast to as many platforms as you want to be heard on. If you're interested in starting your own podcast today, make sure you download the Anchor app or head to anchor.fm to get started.
And we are back in black, like we are Star Wars, because it was just May the 4th. That's my intro into this vibe.
Oh my!
Off the top of my head, you guys know the song I'm talking about. Back in black.
Oh, yeah. AC/DC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. So we are gonna jump in. We're gonna go NBA, Kentucky Derby, stupid sport of the day, NMSU football schedule, Josh Adkins, boom, Tennessee. Let's go NBA.
All right, we're gonna continue our breakdown of the playoff series, and we'll start with Boston-Milwaukee. I believe it's 2-1. 2-1 right now in favor of Milwaukee. They got a big-time road win. What do you guys think about that? They kind of win. I mean, Boston's no place to be messed with. It's a hard place to win. What do you guys think?
So I work at Ondelez, and I have a regular that comes in every Sunday. He's this really old guy. His name's Bill. Shout out, Bill.
Russell?
Yeah. Straight out of Boston. So we always talk about Boston sports, and he's really upset right now. He thought that after the first game, Boston went into Milwaukee and whooped on him. It's kind of flipped roles now. Milwaukee's up 2-1. And he thinks that Kyrie Irving is the problem. What do you guys think about that?
I can see it.
He said that Kyrie's like all over his teammates, all over the coaches, just kind of not really doing the things you need to be able to win playoff basketball games. T, what do you think?
If it's true, and I don't know a whole lot, he wasn't really in the conversations of being a bad person whenever he was in Cleveland because they're always winning, but they had a lot of problems this year. But if it's true, if these rumors are true that he's not, the best locker room guy right now, I think it's just signs that he's leaving. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah. When it comes to when we're talking about the NBA free agency, but I think that it just says all signs that he's like dropping hints like, hey, I'm out of here, man. Like, let's try to get as far as we can. Hopefully we get to the finals. I don't know if we can win. I don't know if anybody can beat the Warriors, but I think he's leaving. I don't know. Why would he want to? After all the stuff he said, why would you want to stay? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and it's definitely going to be cool to see what happens in free agency. As T said, we'll get into it later. But
yeah,
I just love how stupid Paul Pierce looks right now.
Oh, it's amazing. He's like, it's over, man.
Yeah, it's over. They played one game. Giannis had a horrible game one.
Yeah, they did.
And, I mean,
and they schemed well for him.
Yeah,
he's
turned it around. He's dominated.
I don't think people understand. Game one, regardless of it. It's a feel-out game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Every series, it's a feel-out game, and it's never decided in the first or second game, really.
He is the king of horrible takes.
Obviously, yeah, he is. So now we a question about this series. There's been a lot of high-scoring games so far in terms of what Boston has done so far in the playoffs of not allowing 100 points from Indiana. There's been some more high-scoring games. Do you think Boston's missing Marcus Smart right now because he's their defensive anchor? Do you think he's missing him?
100%. I feel like I don't know what you go into statistics on this one and look at his average points scored on I don't know, whatever stat that is.
Yeah, defensive percentage on the best player.
I'm sure, obviously, taking that out of the lineup kind of screws with stuff. Ethan?
Yeah, I definitely think that Chris Middleton's had a huge series. He's had a big couple of games. You put Marcus Smart in, that's one less weapon that Giannis has. You can focus more on Giannis. And then on the flip side, Marcus Smart's a spot-up guy from outside. He hits his shots. He hits those threes when you need him. So I think that you're really missing, an outside shooter that can really stretch the court for you.
Yeah, no doubt. So that'll be interesting. I believe they play tonight or tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I just watch them whenever I see that they're on. I think it's a must-win for Boston. I don't think that they can win in Milwaukee again. So we'll see. Moving on to Philly and Toronto. Last night, big win for Toronto. I think on the road. And Kawhi finally got some help. I think he had 3 other players in double figures outside of him. Kawhi had 39 points. He's unreal.
He's averaging 38 points against Philly this series. I think that's what it is.
And I think he's first or second in points per game. Maybe second outside of Durant. But he's unreal. He's shooting 65% from the field and 52 from 3, 90 from the line or something like that. But I think it shows if Kawhi gets help from his other guys, and Pascal's hurt. He was not going to play last night, but he ended up playing. He didn't play well. No. He was 2 for 10. But if he gets help, they're pretty deadly and they're pretty lethal. And so I think it's good.
They're the 2 seed for a reason, though.
Yeah, they won. They won a lot of games. Yeah. And I think that roster is built to win a championship because they're deep. You know what I mean? And then we'll talk about it a little bit more. But what do you guys think? Is there any chance that Kawhi stays?
No.
You think he's out?
I think he's a for sure goner. Where? Not a clue.
I think LA. Well, obviously we'll talk about it.
Makes sense.
But you don't think Toronto's done enough to keep him?
I don't think so.
What about you, E?
I don't know. I think there's a chance that he might stay. Especially depending on how this postseason goes. Because, they'll keep
I feel like he hates that place.
He also hated San Antonio. I don't know where he's going to like.
Somewhere where he can be the star and not have to... A place that would be perfect for him would be Sacramento, where no one cares. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That does small market. Nobody. He gets to be his awkward.
Milwaukee's small market. He should go to Milwaukee. But I think he wants to be the guy, and he doesn't want to play with LeBron. Nobody wants to play with LeBron. And then I guess we'll move on to the other side of the series is Philly. Ethan, you're a big time guy on Philly. You love their roster, and I do too. And I think without saying, everybody
disappointing.
Yeah. So is this a consistency factor? Or are you guys surprised the fact that this is going on? What's the deal with Philly?
I just don't think that they've gelled. You look at Embiid and Simmons. They're starting to gel a little bit. They're in their second year together, but it looks like they don't have it figured out. If those are your 2 main guys, they don't have it figured out. How do you fit Jimmy Butler in?
They've only played 30-something games together. That roster.
Yeah, you can't expect to go deep if you have no chemistry with each other.
Absolutely.
It's
another thing. I was talking with my regular tonight. He said that
he's your regular.
He is every Sunday night.
Yes.
Comes to you. Yep. He orders beef tacos, no onions, flour tortilla, chado beans, and water. Tips me $2.50 every time.
Did you tell him that you're going to give him free enchiladas for life?
No.
Why? How come you did that in the first place?
Free enchiladas for life?
Yeah.
I was just feeling generous that day. Yeah, my shirt's coming off.
It's hot in here. We are in a studio that the air conditioner is a little bit loud. I don't know why it's not fixed yet, but basically it gets hot in here.
It's not fun. So anyways, what Bill said tonight was we could do Bill's that could be a new segment.
You mean last night?
Bill's takes, yeah.
Bill's takes.
Bill's
weekly Boston takes.
Bill's Sunday takes. He said that he thinks Joel Embiid looks out of shape, and I couldn't agree more.
He does. They're most bigs are out of shape, but you'd think that by this time. But he was also hurt. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played 20 games yet since he's been back.
And I think he tends to miss out most of the season. If you look at the big names, he's probably the one that sits out the most during the regular season. I don't think he's ever played a back-to-back yet, has he? He's actually played in a back-to-back.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah,
but
maybe earlier.
You look at him. Even on the court, he'll take a playoff more than anybody else out there.
And which is crazy because he's a two-way superstar, and he's one of the better defenders in the league, and that's what he's.
Oh yeah.
People, that's a staple of his game. It's a staple of his game, and he's huge. He's massive. He's I don't know what he is, but he's 7 feet 260 maybe 270. He's huge.
Yeah, massive.
He's massive. So that'll be interesting. It's 2-2, right?
Yeah,
it's 2-2.
Yeah,
it's 2-2. And back to Toronto. I think Toronto has the momentum here. So I guess we'll figure out and see how that unravels. Golden State and Houston. On our outline, it says, "Screw you, Bryce," because we're going to talk about.
That's not what it says.
It's the uncensored version. It's the rated R version.
It's the one that starts with F.
Yeah, it ends with U. And then, so we're going to talk about Steph's poor play. Regardless of what people think, or regardless of what Bryce thinks, it's definitely a fact. He is not playing well. So what do you guys think about that? Why isn't he been playing well, and why is he known to at least have his numbers dip in the playoffs?
Okay, well, here's the thing. It's not that I'm going to disagree that he's playing terribly, because he's not playing good, but he's also, he's what? He's had 18 and 18 in the past couple games. It's not terrible.
But he's shooting poor percentages.
Which, and the thing is, as great of a shooter is, shooters go in slumps.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here trying to defend Steph Curry, but yes, he's not shooting it well. He doesn't usually do very well in the playoffs, or at least later in the playoffs. Yeah. But, at the same time, this brings me to the next thing. I don't understand why people hate Steph Curry. I don't think it's the Steph Curry part. I think it's his fans. But I still don't understand how you can hate someone because of their fans.
Okay, so if you were to try to put it into if you were trying to put a finger on it, what do you think are the reasons?
I think the reason are that people, like me, but I obviously joke about it. I don't think Steph Curry is the greatest player to ever live. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. We're just over it at this point.
What is it? 9-3? 9-4?
I have 4. Yeah, I have 3. You have 4. Yeah.
What sound does a witch's car make?
Broom, broom.
Let's go.
Got it.
Come on! Man, I wish we could tell people what just happened. Anyways, here's the thing.
It's hot in here.
With Steph Curry, I think what it is that people hate is fans like me. But I'm sure there's people out there that try to say that he's the greatest to ever live, which he's not. Obviously,
he's the
greatest shooter to ever
walk. He's the greatest of something, which is great. Yeah.
But the thing is, even on Twitter the other day, I tweeted, "Here come all the Steph haters that are crawling out of their holes." And some guy said, "I've been here this whole time." So I said, "Why?" And he says it has to do with their fans, because Steph Curry hasn't done anything controversial.
No, he doesn't do anything.
People
bad.
don't like that he shimmies, but every big time NBA player does their stuff.
Yeah, LeBron's got the over.
You have Lance Stevenson who plays the guitar.
Exactly.
And he's blowing in people's ears.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he does great. And LeBron's got, the Overtaker? What's it called?
It's
Undertaker.
He's also a part of the Illuminati.
He's also part of that. Harden's got the cooking up the pot.
Yeah,
everyone's got their thing, but I think Steph Curry being Steph Curry and playing for that franchise, which is known for
which sucks for him though, because he was drafted there when they were awful.
Yeah,
they were good.
He's the
Steph, Clay, and Draymond were all drafted there.
Yeah, he's the reason that organization turned
exactly.
around.
And Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, all those guys.
Yeah, and so people are like, "Oh, it's a super team." Now it is. But when we won our first championship in 2015, but of this era, it was Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry.
It was all through the draft.
Yeah, exactly. It's all drafted. So people want to talk about super team this, super team that. We'll see next year when Kevin Durant's not there and possibly Clay. But my thing is, I don't understand why people hate Steph Curry. It bothers me.
What?
Probably because he's my main.
What I think is crazy is the Rockets had to play so well down the stretch. James Harden had to play perfect in overtime, and that was just to win. Barely. If Steph has a better night, which of course he's going to. He had a horrible shooting night. That's just not him.
You can't. It's hard to go down from where he's at right now.
And Clay, Clay didn't shoot the ball well either.
Neither of them have been shooting it great.
Yeah, those two start clicking. You're talking about losing by 5 points. That's going to turn into a 15-point win. That's not even close.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how this game 4 goes. Because it's tonight.
Definitely think the Warriors beat them by at least 10-15.
I wanted to.
If Houston wins tonight, this series just got a lot better than what we thought it was.
And a lot different. The series completely shifts.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So, and then another person that's not playing well is Harden. Yeah. Harden's horrific based off of numbers wise. He's pounding the ball.
He's got one eye.
Yeah, I feel like his eye's fine now though. He had 40.
It's like one of those things, like a bruise. It hurts at first,
but
then when it gets the color,
it doesn't hurt. Yeah, he's fine. But he's still at 40, and he's playing terrible. I think he's like third or fourth in scoring. But he's shooting like in the 30s in every single category except free throws.
Chris Paul is overrated.
I disagree, but
And James Harden's defense is freaking terrible.
in the playoffs, yeah.
Like if you watch it,
He
like
takes
if you
so many-
specifically watch James Harden play defense rather than watch the ball,
Yeah.
it's horrific.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know if you guys have seen the play, but the one where there was like that weak side dunk and Harden was like just hugging,
Is that
hugging
what your
his
dad
neck.
was talking about?
Yeah, that was the way I was like, yeah, good D Harden. It was awful. Like it's not even close, and it looks like he's not trying.
Let's talk about the guy that is performing.
I don't know if I've ever seen a player play like this.
It's honestly unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so talk about Kevin
without
Durant.
doubt the best player in the world right now.
Exactly. We'll get it. Like we said, we'll keep saying we'll get into this later. Ugh. But
It is hot in here, guys.
what we think Kevin Durant should do, and what do you think he's gonna do?
If he wants to continue winning,
He should
and
stay. He should definitely stay.
Have just his role of just playing and not worrying about.
But I feel like
being
if he
that
goes to New York with Kyrie, he'll win there.
Yeah, we saw it. They're the favorites.
Yeah, if he goes to New York, I mean, Kyrie is obviously not the leader that you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at what happens.
Yeah.
What's happened to Boston, and then
I mean, KD loves where he's where he's at.
because I mean, Steph's obviously the leader. You know, that's Steph's team.
So I think that, you know, having to go to New York and being the guy in charge, I mean, especially since they have such a young team coming up.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
And
wouldn't make sense for him to go.
Vegas has New York.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Vegas
Oh,
has
yeah,
New York
no.
as the 2020.
16-1. Right?
I don't know if they're going to be the favorites because usually the favorites is like 7-5, but they're 16-1 favorites to win the title, which means Vegas is banking on Kyrie and KD, or at least KD, going to New York.
Vegas is rarely wrong.
Oh yeah.
Vegas knows what they're talking about.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's why they're Vegas.
Yep.
So if
Well,
he should,
no, they were terribly wrong about Kawhi.
Oh, that feels so much better.
it's amazing. We opened the door. But basically, if he wants to continue to win and win a lot, he should definitely stay in Golden State. If he wants to try something new and kind of cap off one last thing for his legacy, which is win one by himself, then he should leave. And I think at the end of the day, he should do what's best for him. But on the outside looking in, I think he should stay.
Oh, yeah.
And because he's still going to get $30 million, he's just going to renew the contract. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah. He signs 1 year for sure.
He might
and
be the
next
first
is
$1 billion.
option.
Yeah, he might be the first $1 billion player if he goes. You know what I mean? He'll probably make 40, 50 million because the salary cap continues to go up. I think it's staying there at the
Yeah,
same.
the max is ridiculous.
Oh
right
yeah,
now. I think the
because he's
max
going to be
is
first
in
team.
line.
He's going to be first team All NBA, if
Yeah.
not second team, which means you can get the super max.
Yeah.
So it'll be
But it's
interesting.
like the Supermax. I mean, whenever Steph and James Harden signed theirs, it was like 40 to like 42.
I think Steph makes $43 million a
yeah,
year.
something like that.
So
But now it's
200
up to like 40.
253.
250. I don't know what the exact number was. 250 for
I think
5?
years.
5, yeah.
I feel like he's going to retire at Warrior. I don't think he's going to
I
go.
hope so.
I can't
No,
see him
there's-
leaving.
Yeah,
I would be, dude.
he's
I
one of
would
those
be
guys-
so freaking sad if he left.
I don't see why.
Where would he go?
He is literally the face of that organization.
I would understand. The only way I'd understand if he left is if he went to play for Pop. Be like the only thing. Be like, okay, yeah, I'll go play for the best coach ever. But then again, Kerr
Or
is
I mean,
ridiculous.
maybe if he went to play for Charlotte, maybe.
Oh yeah,
If
his
he went home
hometown.
and played, yeah.
But
That
that
would
would
be
be like
something.
maybe latter stages of
That's
his
Yeah,
career.
that'd be like later on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that series is definitely going to be interesting. Even more interesting,
If they win tonight.
if they win tonight, like Bryce said. I hope they win just because the playoffs haven't been.
Makes more money.
Yeah, well, I don't really care about the NBA making money or not.
NBA has as much money as it needs.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the greatest organization
yeah.
on this planet.
Yeah, and it's by far the most.
What?
Dude, no one likes.
Dude, if you say MLB, you just leave out that open.
They're not even in I think they're fourth in terms of top. They're third in.
The fact that us three could sit and talk about the NBA like this, we could not do that in MLB.
You guys don't care about MLB.
No,
Okay,
no.
but it's also the fact that
I'm not trying to talk about the game 2 of the Orioles and the Reds
weekend series.
and the fourth string pitcher.
We'll talk about playoffs when it comes to it, but I'm not talking about May baseball.
Anyways, all right. Our last playoff series is the Denver Portland. By far the most interesting series so far in the second round. What a game! Probably the best game that I've ever seen outside of maybe the Game 7 or Ray Allen Game 6. And Game 7, I'm talking about the Game 7 that Bryce knows. The Warriors. Warriors game 7.
got blocked.
Blocked by James. But anyways, that was one of the best games. I think it was 53 years since a 4 overtime game in the
It was
playoffs.
almost 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
You don't see basketball games that go 4 hours.
Jokic played 65 minutes.
God, he
Yeah,
played again yesterday.
he was the first guy 7 foot or bigger to play 60 minutes in a game. since it was, I want to say it was Kareem or Hakeem Olajuwon. Since
I think it's Hakeem.
It was like 1985.
Yep. But basically, Bryce is counting down our joke. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. That took a little bit. All right, here we go. E.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Why did the picture go to jail?
Because it was framed.
God damn it!
Let's go!
What's the score?
We have 6 now.
Yeah, you guys have
9
9
to
to
6.
6?
9 to 6.
9 to 6.
ASMR. 9 to 6. That's gonna
stop.
no, they're gonna just turn it off. All right. Have you guys ever seen a game like that in person? Have you ever watched a game like that? You got a phone call to take off your Motorola? Because that's what that sound is. Have you guys ever seen a game like that?
The only one that comes to mind is when I was 8. I was watching a college basketball game.
Was it Syracuse and
Yes.
UConn? Yes.
Yes.
That was
It
6
went how
overtimes.
many? Yeah,
6.
6.
I think that was a Kemba team.
It's games like that you feel like, God, is this game ever going to end?
And
Like,
then-
I can keep seeing ways that this is going to continue.
So my question is, Ethan, you didn't really play a ton of basketball, but Bryce, have you ever been a part of a basketball game that's gone multiple overtimes?
Nope, just overtime.
Me neither. I think I've been part of a double overtime.
I did in 8th grade. 7th grade.
There you go.
7th
How many
grade.
points
Who'd
did you
play?
have?
Played the championship against Picacho.
Oh, what a game then. The
Yeah.
championship? How many overtimes?
2.
Oh, wow.
Ask him what happened to his team in the 6th grade championship.
What happened to your team? Did you guys get destroyed?
I didn't even... 6th grade championship. We didn't play in the 6th grade championship.
We played Lynn in the 6th grade championship.
You must have been on the B team.
No, I don't think I played in 6th
He
grade.
said you must have been on the...
No, I didn't play in 6th grade.
Good choice. So now that this game, obviously we can talk about so many things. Jokic had a triple double.
Triple-double. He had a triple-double.
He had a triple double. I mean, a lot of Nuggets played well. CJ McCollum had 40, and then Rodney Hood. That might have been the greatest substitution of all time.
Well,
I don't know
see what he said?
what.
He told, I don't know what teammates he told. He said, if coach puts me in, I'm going to end it. This is what he said to the teammates on the bench. And
That's awesome.
if you look on Twitter, the other guy tweets it. The other teammate tweets it. I don't know who it was. And he goes, this is a true story.
So now that it's 2-2, and last night the Nuggets bounced back and got a W after losing that crazy thriller. Who has the momentum? Obviously it's going back to Denver. It's hard to win in Denver, one of the hardest places to play. Who has the momentum in this?
I mean, Portland's already proven that they can win in Denver.
Yeah, they did it once.
I mean, it's obvious that in the series, home court is really not that big of an issue. Both teams have won on the road.
Yeah, that's split.
Yeah.
So technically home court is back to Denver.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like...
I think this goes 7.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I hope it goes 7.
This series can swing either way. Either team really has no momentum.
God, Denver just exhausting all their available options, just going 7 games every
That's
series.
See, yesterday was a big-time win for them. Last night was a big-time win for them because they...
That's a demoralizing loss.
If
The
this-
4 overtime
if it
one.
goes 7, Portland wins.
Think so? You think
Oh,
they win on the road?
I think Portland wins on the road. Just because I would trust...
I trust.
I trust
I agree.
Dame over anybody right now. Maybe
Yeah, I
except for
agree.
maybe KD.
See, Jamal Murray's playing nice, though. He's playing
He had
really
34 points
Yep.
last night on
Yeah.
20-something shots, and he went
really
11-11 from the line.
Did you see his
His dunk?
shot?
Oh, the one the first bucket of the game?
Yeah.
Where's his brother even at? Is he even in the G League or anything?
What's his brother's name?
Remember, it's like his twin brother, Jamal Murray.
No, those are the Harrison twins, aren't
Oh,
they?
those are
Yeah.
the Harrison.
Those are the Harrison
twins.
twins.
Okay.
Both went to Kentucky, though. So that's about it for the NBA in terms of the playoffs. Now we're going to get into something it's fun to talk about, fun to play around with. So we're going to talk about the way too early free agency predictions, and we're going to go each of us, and we're going to talk about who is going to go where. First off, we're starting with Kawhi. Does he stay? If not, where's he going?
Kawhi's I don't think he stays. I don't know where he's going. You guys said LA.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it would make sense if he goes to LA. But I'm pretty sure he's.
But I think it's the Clippers, though, right? It's the Clippers if he goes to
he's
LA.
not going to the
He's not going to the
He
Lakers.
won't play on the
What if is there any other option outside of the Clippers? I think it's either Toronto or the Clippers.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Because I think he wants to make his way out west. I think he wants to play in LA.
It's a perfect spot for him to live. He's from there, just so you
Yeah,
know.
oh, yeah.
He's not a Compton kid, but he's an
Yeah,
LA
Like
guy.
you said, it would be kind of cool if he went small market to Milwaukee.
I don't
There's a dominant team in the East.
Yep.
But he won't.
No.
He won't go.
He won't do it.
He wants to be the guy.
I think we all have this consensus here where it's Durant is the next one. He's definitely going to go to New York, in my opinion, if he leaves.
Yep.
I think it's New York. I don't think it's anywhere else.
Yeah.
I guess maybe like another team, maybe Brooklyn, because Brooklyn has 2 max spots open as well. But like we've talked about a little bit before on this podcast. Brooklyn and New York are way better destinations than the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
Yeah.
Like regardless of it being LA,
Dude, the Lakers are a show right now.
yeah, they are. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's real bad.
Yeah, no, I definitely think. I don't know. Watch out for Brooklyn because
I love Brooklyn.
If they re-sign D'Lo,
He's gonna get a lot of money too.
he's gonna get a lot.
Yeah,
But I don't think he gets super max.
he can't. He has to be
Yeah,
all NBA.
yeah.
That's the only way
And then,
you can get
they
it.
They have a pretty. They'll have a good pick. I mean, there's a lot of talent.
They'll be like in the 19, 18 range, which is
isn't bad.
and this is a good draft class.
Yeah,
It's a good
And
draft
then,
class.
I mean, they bring in. What if somehow he takes Clay with him, or just another star like that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like we have a list here. I think the bottom half of this list could go to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So next is Kyrie. Where you guys? Do you think he teams up with KD?
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but over the All-Star weekend, they actually were together the entire time, and then after they went to Puerto Rico or Cabo, they went to some beach area and they went together. So I mean, I think they're definitely teaming up.
I think the only way Kyrie stays is if they're able to work something out where they get AD.
Oh yeah, AD, but
If they
he's
get
out
AD,
too.
then-
But he's on an extension for another year.
Yeah, no, but I think that if something works out where Danny Ainge is able to get him over to
Yeah.
Boston, then Kyrie will stay.
Yeah, I mean it's.
So they're going to give up so
This
much.
is why it's fun to talk about this because there's so many different scenarios.
Yeah,
He
all
could
right.
literally go anywhere that's going to offer him 40, 50 million. And then the next one, Bryce is going to be sad. Where's Clay going if he leaves?
I have no idea.
Maybe, I think, because since Clay's a shooter, shooters like to play with LeBron, I think he might go to the Lakers.
Yeah,
I feel like it's either Golden State or LA.
Yeah.
That would just be weird to picture. I can't even picture Klay Thompson on another team. It's just weird.
It just seems like he's that dude that'll never leave. But I've always said
And
it.
he keeps saying like, I'm content here.
Yeah, he has an easy job.
Scoring 22 points a game, shooting 45% from the three, winning a championship
he
every
literally
year.
just gets the ball handed to him and just pulls up.
And he goes.
living in San Fran, Oakland, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they love him.
Yeah.
they love Clay. The next one's interesting. No one's really talking about this guy a lot, but it's Kemba Walker.
The dude had an incredible year.
Yeah, he was
Oh, yeah.
averaging. He was the very beginning. He was averaging like 32 points a game for
It
like
was
the
ridiculous.
first 12 games, which is 12 games is
I
12
remember
games.
every time I checked the box score, I was like, yep, 30-some again.
Yeah, but I think he ended up averaging like 25 or 26. He was an all-star starter over Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie was not a starter. Kemba Walker was in his hometown because it was in Charlotte.
Cardiac Kemba.
Cardiac Kemba. Where do you guys think he goes?
I think out of all of the point guards, I think he's the one that pairs up with LeBron.
That's a good one. Yeah, Kemba to LA.
Because there's been a lot of talk
Get rid of Lonzo. Maybe have Lonzo come off the bench because Lonzo would be a great backup point guard.
He showed that he did it sometimes this year when Rondo, he would come off the bench for Rondo.
Exactly, and he's been hurt a lot. He was hurt a lot of the year, and so was Rondo. But if they got Kemba, got rid of Rondo, and then bring Lonzo off the bench,
It's tough.
it's tough. That's a tough. I mean, and that's a guy that's not going to stand down to LeBron. He's not gonna be like, no, man. He's like, I scored 25 points a game in this league, and I'm the all-time leader in points for the Charlotte Hornets. Like, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
another score for LeBron
Yep.
too.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler. I think for some reason I think he's going to resign. I don't know where else he'd go. Maybe
I don't know
Brooklyn.
who else wants him
Yeah,
because he's
not-
such a head case.
Yeah, not a lot of people want him.
I don't know who would go to. Like, where would he go? Like, there's a bunch of spots and a bunch of teams that have max contract, max
But
spot.
I don't think he played well enough to get a max contract.
He won't get a max. He'll get a max for his age, which means he'll probably get like 35 million.
This is a guy I could see, like we were talking earlier,
small market.
like Sacramento.
A team that's just going to offer him a crap ton of money.
Sacramento.
Brooklyn could offer him.
Brooklyn. Yes.
Yeah. So then the next one, this is who I think he's 100% re-signing is D'Lo. I think that they're going to re-sign him and build around him and try to get another person who will just jump. Yeah.
Let's get a freaking another one.
Come on, last one. Let's go.
What do you say to the man in the wheelchair that steals your camouflage jacket?
Man, what do you say to the man in the wheelchair who steals your camouflage jacket? Where's my jacket?
There it is. Where's my jacket?
You can hide, but you can't run.
Dude, I was never gonna. Oh, that's terrible.
That's awful. You can hide, but you can't
I would
run.
have never guessed that.
Oh, no, that's a good one, but that's
Okay,
just mean.
So 10-6.
Yeah. So then All right, we'll move on. So I think D'Lo, and I've seen rumors on.
Did anything come of his marijuana thing?
Not recently, so maybe it just wasn't that big of a deal.
Did you guys see the meme where it was a picture of a bunch of TSA guys and they all had Swaggy P's face on them?
Oh God! Like what?
Yeah, and it was like it was just him smiling, saying, "You should check the can."
Oh my, he's so stupid. I think Middleton, if he chooses to leave, he goes to Brooklyn, and then they build around D'Lo and Middleton.
That would be nice.
That'd be a good team. And who knows? Obviously, I think that the Magic and all these other guys who have room will go for these younger guys, and then Rice, another Warrior. Obviously, I think his calf or his quad will be fine. That's not one that usually ends up being one where it kind of lingers, or it kind of affects your season. Where do you think Boogie goes?
I think because of the injury, he stays.
Yeah, I think he resigns.
For another $15 million? $12 million?
Yes.
I think he goes to LA. I think Bigs love to play with LeBron because he's a big dump-off guy.
So here's the other thing. You talk about all these early free agent predictions. Boogie's decision could be changed based off of where certain people go. If Kawhi goes to the Clippers.
Yeah, because what if he's a later signing?
Exactly.
He could just he
what
gets
if
his
he wants to
waters.
go this would be good for me.
He could totally play the field.
So that's why I don't.
No matter what, he's going to be a late sign because I don't think people are going to offer him until
They know that
other pieces start falling.
They're gonna, it's the same thing with football. DeMarcus Lawrence would kind of set the ground, or whoever the guy that was signed. I think it was the guy to the Chiefs, or no, he was after. It was there's one big signing, and it kind of sets the ground for what guys of their caliber are going to get paid. So I think if he gets paid, if Porzingis or AD, get paid like 20 or like 30 to 35 million, he's gonna get paid less because of his injuries. He'll probably get paid like 20 something.
I mean, Porzingis has been injured too. I don't think Porzingis gets that much either.
I think he's just gonna re-sign. I don't think he's going
Yeah, well,
anywhere. I think he wants to stay there.
Yeah, especially with
Doncic.
Yeah, I mean,
He didn't even get to play, right?
No, he's still rehabbing it.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
Oh yeah,
Smart.
Especially because Mark Cuban's
he's also
shown so much love for him.
he's also 7'3". For a guy that's 7'3" to tear your ACL, that's way longer.
Yeah, I just want to point out that his ACL is probably about the size of my freaking.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's way longer. So that'll be interesting to see where these guys go. Obviously, it's not till July 1st when the free agency pool opens. So obviously, when we get
That's
there,
always fun. It's like waiting to get a.
I remember I woke up to text messages from you saying WTF because it was the morning that KD signed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there's no way he's leaving, and then he left, and I woke up to text messages from this dude telling me this is insane.
Yeah. That was
So
crazy.
we'll move on to something that we've yet to talk about. It's the Kentucky Derby.
Hubs.
Hoops. He's letting people know those are hoops. Okay.
Okay, James.
God. All right. For anyone that doesn't know what happened, it's like completely controversial. One of the craziest things that ever happened, I guess, in sports, considering what the circumstances were. Maximum Security, which is the horse's name, veered into.
Horses' name are so stupid.
That's the whole point.
Some of them are cool though.
Yeah.
There's some cool, but Maximum Security.
Don't go up in there without security.
Maximum.
He veered into the lane of other horses, like causing or like affecting 17 other horses racing.
I rewatched it. I didn't see, dude.
It was
right at the beginning.
It was minimal. It was minimal.
It was like right at the beginning.
So
whenever he just cut everybody
and then
off.
basically they reviewed it for 22 minutes, which is like the longest review since the Des Bryant catch no catch, which is later on.
He didn't catch it.
Okay, well the NFL came out and said that the NFL later can't. I don't want to talk about it. The NFL literally came out this year and said this was a catch.
Hey, fool, go Cowboys, fool.
Go Cowboys! They're the freaking best. How about them boys? There's bugs on my computer.
I hate that. How about them boys? I hate that.
I hate it too. How about them Cowboys? But it was like it was the longest review. It took 22 minutes. So I think that. What do you guys think? The way that dude won, is that the most lame way to win?
I think this hurts the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And the reason this hurts the Kentucky Derby is because they only ran it that one time, so whoever got second was the actual winner because of all this.
Yeah, it's like
which is dumb.
He won by disqualification.
Yeah,
you know
it's like if you were in golf and Tiger Woods and the Masters would have not cheated, but like
accidentally hit the ball,
accidentally bumped the ball.
What happened was the DJ thing a few years ago.
Yeah, where he like
grazed
like,
it.
There's so many stupid rules in golf, but that's basically like because of how big of a stage the Kentucky Derby is for horse racing. It's the exact same thing that the Masters is for golf. So say like Tiger Woods would have placed his ball in a weird spot or bumped it and didn't count till the end, then he doesn't win, and then the second place guy wins.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the guy got paid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing here.
$3 million purse. I mean, that's pretty good.
You're getting paid. I mean,
Not like an actual purse.
Yeah,
a purse is like what people
I don't
make.
understand how you can call horse interference.
Yep.
Whenever these are animals running against each other.
Black Panther.
And like, okay, there's 19 horses out there running against each other.
That's how you can tell the horse, hey, dude.
Yeah, it's like hey,
Stop
you can't
moving!
you can't cut him
Stop
off.
moving
Like,
into my lane.
yeah, you can't just reach down and slap the horse and tell it to go the
Why
other
not?
way.
It's animal abuse.
Yeah, come on,
Shoot.
dude.
Yeah, my bad.
You're one guy that doesn't like to go to zoos, and you're over here talking about
Slapping horses?
I do not like to go to zoos. Those make me sad. Seeing
Gosh.
polar bears in New Mexico? No thanks.
There's peak.
Yeah, but pretty interesting. That's Kentucky Derby is one of those things that no matter what, you watch it. Like it's one of those. It's like the Masters for non-golfing fans. I don't know
if you guys have ever gone to Ruidoso, but that is fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Hoods.
All right, so now we got a new thing for you guys. It's called the Stupid Sport of the Day. Ethan chose this one, and it is called
shin-kicking.
And I'm being dead serious. You could search the top 25 worst.
Shin-kicking. Kicking the shins.
Google top 25 worst sports, and that's what we will be discussing for the next, however many podcasts. So the first one is called shin-kicking. Break it down.
Let me give you guys a little bit of insight about what shin-kicking is. So in England, there's this thing called the Cotswold Games. And apparently this tournament's been going on for 400 years.
They stuff hay in their pants?
Yeah, so what they do is they stuff hay inside of their pants and they just kick each other. They kick the crap out of each other.
I'm watching a video right now.
Yeah, and these guys do not stop. And like people come out of this with broken shins, broken legs.
What's shin kicking?
It's Kevin Ware status, dude.
Yeah, like this is insane. And yeah. It is bad.
What kind of shoes are they wearing? Do they wear boots?
Yeah, they can wear boots. They can wear whatever.
Why would you not wear cleats, dude?
And so what you do is like they score it out of best of 3.
There's a scoring system for shin kicking.
Yes, it's best of 3.
Dude, why would you want to do this?
So
Dude, it's for fun.
It's a massive. It's a massive bracket, and like you advance.
So if you fall, you lose.
I would assume so.
Yeah, if your opponent falls, you get a point, and it's best of 3.
Oh my god,
that sounds like the worst sport I've ever heard.
Do we know what the favorite is?
They don't have a favorite.
Wait, this is like it's still a sport now.
Yeah,
the professional shin kicking.
It's a huge.
PSK.
It's part of the Cotswold game, so it's like
it's part of the what?
Cotswold game, so it's like this huge tournament. It's like
are you being serious?
Dude, I swear. And it's basically like it's older than the Olympics. It's
pretty dope.
It's
pretty dope
cool.
sport. Shin kicking. I would never in a million years do that.
No, I hate getting kicked in the shin.
Oh,
or like
God.
A scooter to the ankle.
And the worst part
that'd be a cool sport.
Worst
ankle
part
scootering.
is they do this in sheep crap.
Yeah, I just watched the video.
Like they are inches deep.
What?
In sheep crap.
Wow. Well, there's your sport of the day.
Stupid.
All right. Okay. Who would win in that? I feel like Ethan would win just because he knows a lot about it.
Well, also that.
But Bryce, you were a kicker.
Yeah, but I was a kicker, but I can't take shin kicks.
Yeah.
Give me 2 shin kicks and I'm down for the count.
One on each.
Yeah.
I think we should make that a poll.
I'm not gonna. Oh.
Should we pull it up?
Who would win?
See, dude, if I lose again.
I have my next story lined up.
Yeah,
so.
I have a story too. All right, be sure on our Twitter to go vote for who you think would win in a shin
That's my
kicking.
argument. I was a kicker in high school.
I almost said shit kicking.
Well, now you said it. Good job, dude.
Shin kicking.
It's a PG podcast.
There we go. Well, good stuff here.
Who said the F word?
Never did.
Good. Okay. All right, we're done with shin kicking.
I'm so excited for this part.
Okay, Bryce, this is a good idea that Bryce had. We're going to break down the NMSU football schedule in honor of Josh Adkins coming onto the pod here after this, so it's going to come up here shortly. So we're going to break down the schedule. Bryce, start us off.
Since I was born in 1998, I believe the Aggies should go 12-0 every year. But we'll get into it. They open up at Washington State, who finished ranked 10th.
Yes, they were 10th in the final AP poll of the year.
There we go.
Okay, so we're going to just talk about each game, and then we'll go through and we'll say which games we're winning, which games we're not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Washington State, clearly Gardner Minshew's not going to be there anymore, but Mike Leach is a great coach.
And I'm pretty sure the quarterback they have coming in is pretty
and
solid.
he recruits very well. It's gonna be a really, really tough game going over there to play.
Especially it's the opening game.
The
good thing about the opening game is it's on Washington State's opening game too.
Yeah.
So you never know. They could come in completely overrated, and we might steal one. We'll move on to.
Oh.
Oh,
You got a gusher.
Bryce has a bloody nose.
All right. We'll
Fix it with
move
the
on.
chip.
I'm gonna leave it.
The one that we are definitely winning.
Yes, we are going to beat
Dude, I haven't
Alabama
had a
7-3.
Guys, this is a sign.
Son of what?
We're gonna beat Washington State. I haven't had a bloody nose. Look at this. I don't remember the last time I had a bloody nose.
Since
So
you sent me
we're
a
beating
picture of it.
Washington State.
I woke up with one.
Yeah. Woke
So,
up like
Okay,
this.
you guys heard it first. Bryce got a bloody nose, and this is the biggest Aggie football fan to ever walk. Oh, I got it on your phone.
Oh, you nasty.
Dude, how many jokes do you have?
God, dude, he bled on my phone.
That's all
Give us a joke.
How do you make holy water?
Holy water? Dude, this is just...
Dude,
I don't
wipe
know.
my phone off.
I don't have a napkin. Wait,
How
how
do
do you make holy water?
How do you make holy water?
I have no clue. Don't wait. Hold on. I want to think about it.
How do you make holy water? How do you make holy water? How do you make holy water? Do you put
no
it through
clue.
like a... What do you call those things, T?
You boil the hell out of it.
That's a good one. I would have never got that. Okay.
Clean off my phone!
All right. We play Alabama. Our second game at
We are
Alabama.
winning 7-3 over Alabama.
There we go.
Here's my thing. I love that we get to play Alabama just because it gives us... Sorry.
That is disgusting.
Dude, what am I
Look,
supposed
it's
to
still
do?
there.
Dude, just get it. Come on.
Oof, okay, that's gross.
Dude,
I don't care.
your blood is on
Let's
my
talk
phone.
about Alabama, dude. Okay. We get to play Alabama, which is awesome. I'm sure that it'd be kind of cool if that was like a morning game, because sometimes Alabama games, just because they're in the morning and there's no other game going on, people want to watch Alabama, we might get some TV time.
Yeah.
And I hope we can land some TV time with Washington State. Probably not, but we'll move on to the next one. This is the fun
Are
one.
we going to beat Alabama?
We're going to go back into it after this. After we preview all the games, we're just going to say which games are we winning, which games are we losing.
Yeah.
San Diego State. I have a good feeling about this.
Yeah, that could be a game we could win.
Because this is
I
a
think we'll
team.
win this one.
This is a team that is in the Mountain West. I mean, we're independent, so can't really talk. But not a very good team in the Mountain West. They're not traditionally known to be very good, and it's our first home game. So hopefully,
I think they were ranked.
hopefully Las Cruces will come
At
out.
one point last
Hopefully we
year.
get another turnout like we did for the Wyoming game.
Pretty sure San Diego State was ranked at one point last year.
Yeah. Okay, next one at UNM.
Who and them?
We're winning that one. I think we're going to go up in there and beat UNM.
Yeah.
Games up in Albuquerque are always fun.
Yep. I think we'll win that one.
Tough one. Following week, we get Fresno State at home, which is crazy that we even get them at home because
We'll compete. I think we'll compete.
Yeah, they finished 18th in the AP poll last year.
Yeah.
I think this will be similar to the Wyoming game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think we might surprise somebody though. I mean, they're coming in here, and
Yep.
if we get a good turnout,
It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Liberty at home.
Yep.
I think that's a win.
Yeah.
We play them twice. It's always tough to beat a team twice in 1 year, which
I think
it's always possible.
I think the next three are huge. I think if we could get, I think in terms of getting a bowl game, we need to go 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Yeah,
So
and
we
it's
go-
got to be the first 2.
And it's tough because we're on the road for 3 weeks straight. Go to Central Michigan, a team that I don't recall us ever playing in my lifetime.
I don't
So
think I've ever
I don't
done.
even know about these dudes. The Chippewas, right?
Yeah.
At Georgia Southern, a team we are very familiar with just because of the Sun Belt days.
They got votes for the top 25 last year. didn't
Georgia
they?
Southern?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right, I
but in
remember.
terms of bowl game, it would be nice to have both of them. It'd be nice to have
Yes.
those 2.
Yes. Then we go to Ole Miss. Okay. So here's the thing. You say ugh, but also think about the previous year. We played Ole Miss. We played Ole Miss a couple years ago and got blasted. But remember our freshman year when we played Kentucky on the road, and we were down 49-42 going into the fourth quarter.
I just think that Ole Miss is a little bit more of a.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is a late in the season weird game for Ole Miss
Yep.
because they're in the middle of their SEC schedule.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They
And
get
they
us
have
as
to
like
play
they're trying to
some-
get us as like a week off,
Yeah,
basically.
they have to play some random team. They played a few years back. I remember they destroyed us that game. I don't like Ole Miss. Then we come home and we play Incarnate Word. I'm not even going to talk about that. It's the exact same thing as the Alcorn State game last year. And then for some weird reason we get UTEP at home in late November during Thanksgiving weekend. I don't think this was a very good scheduling.
I think it should have been flipped with Fresno State.
Yes, exactly. UNM and UTEP are always around each other, and I think it's not good that it's right around Thanksgiving because
No one's gonna be here.
all these kids are going home.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No one's
And
gonna
it's
be
probably
here.
going to be a Saturday. It's going to be a Saturday afternoon game.
100% will be.
I mean,
So
that's when
stupid.
we're gonna have to rely on like the rest of the city to show up.
Yeah, because there's not going to be a
You know,
big tailgate.
people might show up, especially since it's a rivalry game.
And who knows? It could
People are
depend
gonna
on
be
our
in
season.
town. Yeah, if it looks like a bowl game's a possibility, people
Yes.
are going to want to show up.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the same case you make for when we played Idaho on a Saturday afternoon.
But then again, Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. You're not going to leave. You're not going to not go.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that'll be interesting.
And then we finally go to Liberty, which last year we played absolutely terrible at Liberty and got beat. But let's go. I think we go 6-6. The games we win: San Diego State, UNM, Liberty once. I think we get Central Michigan, Incarnate Word, and UTEP. Those are my 6.
Okay.
6-6 gets in there.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think we're going to go 6-6 as well. I think we're going to go San Diego State, UNM, Liberty, Central Michigan. That's 4, right?
Yeah.
Incarnate Word and UTEP.
Yeah.
Is that the same one as you said?
I said San Diego State, UNM, Liberty, Central Michigan, Incarnate Word, UTEP.
Okay, yeah, I did the same thing.
Those are the ones. Ethan, go. Sorry.
No, I agree.
Those same ones?
I think if anything, we might steal one against Liberty on the road.
Yeah.
Depending on
That's
how we play.
that's our. I like the way the end of our schedule works out because
We
if
have
we're
our last
close-
3.
If we're close, our last 3 we can do it.
Because that was the same thing with the bowl year,
Yeah.
right? Weren't we 3-6?
Yeah. So say we don't beat Central Michigan, Incarnate Word, UTEP, Liberty. Those are 3 winnable games.
Yeah, what happens, Georgia Southern, we go over there and have
exactly.
to knock them off.
It'd be, see, those are the steal games. Like those are the
Exactly.
ones if you can steal.
You guys forgot we're beating Alabama 7-0.
Yeah, I forgot about that. If we could steal at Liberty or at Central Michigan, I mean that really helps us if we were to lose a game like at UNM or maybe at home for San Diego State.
Yeah.
I think that San Diego State game is going to be tough.
Definitely.
So actually, I think I'm going to change it, and I'm going to go. I think we're going to beat Liberty twice.
Okay,
So I think we're going to start out 0-3. I think we're going to compete with Alabama for a half. I think that's just what we.
See, I was telling T this the other day. Do you remember that D2 school that
This past
played
year.
out-
Citadel.
Yeah,
Citadel.
Citadel.
They were
yeah.
beating them.
Was that D2?
And remember how
D2?
much-
No, they're at FCS.
That's great exposure for them because they were all over.
They can talk
Bleacher
about that. Hey,
Report,
we were
ESPN,
tied with them at halftime.
Sports Center,
Yeah, it was
everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah. Tua had
that's my
Tua
thing.
had like 60 passing yards at the
Yeah,
half.
that's my thing. Getting to play these big time schools, Washington State, Alabama, Fresno State, gives us a chance to go in and make a name for ourselves.
No doubt.
But so yeah, that's all we have for NMSU football schedule. I'm so excited for that. I wish it could just start next week. But yeah, that's all we have for football. We're gonna move on to other NMSU sports. Just a quick plug. Baseball this weekend had a fun series against UTRGV.
Kinda wild.
Yeah, UTRGV came in as number 1. We beat them 2-1 on the weekend. We beat them 17-8 Friday, lost 21-11 Saturday, won 10-0 yesterday. Very strange scoring, very high-powered offense from what I saw. If you guys don't know, I have to be at every freaking game, and it kind of drags
I think-
sometimes.
Our baseball team is so good, but finding good quality pitching at a school that's not a top 35 team.
And I think the only one
so hard.
that's been consistent this year is Chance Roach.
Yeah.
He comes in every Sunday, and
Is he our Sunday ace?
yeah, he usually throws every Sunday. He pitched a shutout yesterday.
Yeah.
He pitched all 7 innings.
Yeah, he has like a sub-3 ERA.
Yeah.
He's throwing really well.
He's solid for us. And then you obviously got guys like Nick Gonzalez, Tristan Peterson, Joey Ortiz made a crazy play at short.
Yeah, he's so good up the middle.
Oh yeah,
Both of
he's
those
legit.
guys. I mean, they lead the nation in RBIs.
Another guy I want to plug, my favorite player, Logan Enos. I don't think he even listens to this, but the only reason he's my favorite is because he's cool. And Emerson, it's an intern of ours, boyfriend. So shout out to Logan Enos. And he played good this weekend too. But that's baseball is now in sole possession of first place in the WAC at 33-12. UTRGV's in second.
Well, that's their third best start in program history.
They're legit, man. And Sac State's in third. Cal Bap and Grand Canyon are right there. We go to Seattle this week. Seattle's not a very good ball club. This would be huge if we can get a 3-0 a weekend. We've had a lot of 2-1 weekends. This would be a perfect time to get a 3-0 weekend, and then we come back home for senior weekend against Cal Bap. That'll be a fun one too. Yep. But hopefully the baseball can pull this out for us. We'll move on to softball. Softball went on the road, swept Cal State Bakersfield. Not Cal State Bakersfield, the worst team in the WAC, but I mean that's where you're supposed to go and
get 3 wins.
So New Mexico State, we're tied for second. That's what your job is, to go and sweep the worst team in the WAC.
Beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously, I mean regular season of course matters because you want seeding for the tournament.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as you can get a top seed where you don't have to face off against, a 1 seed right away or a 2 seed right away, I mean, you should be in good shape. Because, I mean, your 1 and 2s, they can knock each other off.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know if you guys, how much softball you guys watch, but softball is actually pretty fun to watch.
Oh, it is fun.
The energy, so high energy, so much quicker. I know Ethan doesn't like that argument, but so much quicker.
I love watching softball.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me how small the fields are and how close the pitcher's mound is to the batter's box or the pitcher's circle.
A lot of big school pitchers, you look at SEC softball. Yeah, those girls are throwing 70 miles an hour.
Underhanded,
which is equivalent to a 95, 96 mile an hour.
Yeah, it's
fastball.
stupid. It's honestly stupid how hard they throw that ball.
I mean, they have so many different pitches, and you have just it's 40-something feet. 30-something feet that you have to decide.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, softball is currently tied for second place. Seattle is in first. Softball, who do they have next? They go... See, the softball team has played a very tough schedule. Yeah. Oh, okay. That was the final series of regular season for softball. The WAC tournament starts this week.
They're such an experienced team. The teams they've played... They played...
North Carolina, Oregon. Who else was
They played Missouri. They played Texas Tech, Arizona.
James Madison, who's ranked 21st.
Yeah.
Arizona State, Michigan, Ohio State. They're playing these blue bloods.
Cal. Yeah. I mean, these are Power 5 schools.
We beat Cal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the softball team definitely is someone to be scared to play when it comes to, obviously, WAC tournament time. It starts this Wednesday, so we'll talk about it, how it's going on the next podcast. But I think that about wraps up what we have. We're going to get to an awesome interview right now with the number one dude that's leading our Aggies into a tough-looking schedule that we just talked about, Josh Adkins.
We would have had a better year last year if he'd been off the bat.
No, because you saw him come in after Matt Romero and immediately saw a change.
If there's anyone to get us back to where we want to be, it's Josh.
And I love the fact that he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he can sling it, too.
I love the fact that he's a sophomore. So we're going to jump right into this interview. Here is Josh Adkins, New Mexico State Aggie football quarterback. Alrighty, we're here with New Mexico State quarterback Josh Adkins. Josh, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Alright, so we'll get right into it. Josh, starting quarterback here. We'll talk a little bit about your before football. So talk about where you're from. When did you grow up?
I was actually born in Phoenix. Okay. I lived there for 3 years. I don't remember much. But then I moved out to San Antonio. Lived there till I was about 8, and then I moved to just a little bit north, about 20 minutes out, and that's where I went to Spencer Valley, and that's where I grew up.
Okay.
So that's why you got the Spurs. The Spurs here.
Exactly.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, I am a
diehard Cowboys fan.
But I'm not a diehard, I'm a diehard Spurs fan.
Okay.
I'm kind of a Cowboys fan just because.
Okay. By default?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I'll do anything for the Spurs.
So that's a pretty rich football state. Texas is, rich in terms of football. It probably goes high school football over anything in terms of Texas. Just based off all the schools that are in there. There's Permian, there's Allen. There's all sorts of schools there. So is football something that's always been part of you in terms of growing up? Has that been in your guys' family or your blood?
Well, not necessarily. And my grandpa was really good at football. He was good at all the sports. He was a great athlete. But when I was a kid, I just kind of woke up and I wanted to play with any kind of ball. Football, baseball, basketball. I played all three. Okay. All the way till I was in high school. Football just kind of chose me. Like you said, it was Texas. It was just it was fun playing high school football in Texas. Yeah. Those
atmospheres kind of outweigh everything else. I mean, it doesn't matter because it seems like all the schools in Texas, the crowds are good no matter where you go.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I went to a high school that was tradition rich with football, and it was you'd go to your local grocery store and people were asking you about the game and stuff. And
it sounds like some Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play high school football.
How comparable is that? I mean, you grew up. Have you seen Friday Night Lights?
I have.
So how comparable is that to the actual real life situation?
It's really comparable. I mean, we never won state, so that wasn't. We made it to the quarterfinals, but I mean, it's a lot like that. It really is. It's a religion. You're there. I mean, I was there for 12-hour days during football season in high school.
Just as rigorous in terms of
but I wouldn't trade it for the world. The friends I made. I mean, I'm about to go on a cruise with the guys that I went to high school with coming up. So
lifelong friendships.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you play any other sports in high school? Were you a multi-sport high school athlete too?
I was. So I played all three my freshman year. And I got to spring ball, and I was a pitcher.
Okay.
And my arm just couldn't take it because I was doing spring ball for football, and I was trying to pitch too. I'd get to 40 pitches and my arm felt like spaghetti, you know. But I did play basketball.
Okay.
I've seen him in the AC coming.
Yeah. I wasn't very good. I was a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of the
Everybody
rebound.
hates those guys.
About 5 points, 12 rebounds.
Bunch of fouls. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. So Smithson Valley High School.
Yeah, Smithson Valley.
So you were a 3-year starter there. You got you down for the all-time leader in passing yards, and you set a single-season record for passing yards. So you also had a bunch of Player of the Year awards. So I mean, with all these accolades and setting all these things, when did you really start to think you could start do something with football?
I would say after my sophomore year, we just got bounced in the first round.
Okay.
And the game was pretty innocent to me at that point. I was just having fun, you know, enjoying it. It had already been a dream, but it never really felt realistic. That's when we came out of a workout, and I remember this day UTSA offered me. It was my first offer, and right there it kind of clicked. It said, you know, I became so hungry after that moment because I could smell it, and I was excited for it. And at that moment, I really knew that this could be bigger than just a game, you know. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so did you, in terms of the recruiting process, did you go to all those camps to try to get your name out there, or was it? But because of Texas, you kind of maybe don't need to do that as much. Did you go that route?
I did. I went to my parents. I'm blessed with my parents. So we spent a lot of money trying to get my name out there. Honestly, in my opinion, it was a waste of time. I think the coaches and the teams that want you are going to come find you. It's tougher in San Antonio. You'd think that just being in Texas football, 6A football, you'd get all the attention you want.
Kind of speaks for itself.
But San Antonio is kind of the downer side of Texas, and they like to go to Austin and to Dallas and places like that. So San Antonio's recruiting not as great. It's starting to get better, but definitely hit a little bit of a speed bump there. But yeah.
So in high school, did you only play quarterback, or did you bounce around anywhere else? Or?
Freshman year, I played defensive end too. I played both ways.
Damn, they had you down there.
Yeah, I was a big boy. Yeah, I loved freshman year. I mean, freshman year was amazing. We were 10-0. We won by 20 points every game. It was fun.
So,
but
no, go ahead.
Quarterback was my spot.
So when it comes to recruiting, do you think that the recruiting for quarterbacks is different in terms of any other position? Like, do you think they recruit differently at quarterback than they do at receiver or at O-line?
No doubt, because there's only one of those guys, you know, and there's 5 on the roster, but only one of them is going to be playing for you. You know what I mean? So you've got to be very selective about. It's like almost picking a girlfriend. You know, you get one each year. That's how. Yeah, the team gets one each year. So they're gonna go out there and they're gonna try to find the best fit, and it's really picky. And you know they watch game film, and if they don't like your certain release, you know, then maybe that's it. But it's definitely a tough process.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that sort of segues us into college. So you touched on a little bit. UTSA was your first offer. So what are the other schools that recruited you outside of NMSU?
So I had an offer from UTSA, like I said. I also got an offer from UIW, which was a FCS school in San Antonio. Okay. I got an offer from Miami of Ohio. Okay. And then I got 2 Ivy League offers, Brown and Cornell. And then I got an offer here.
So you did pretty well in the classroom then.
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you have all those. Why NMSU? Why come to a school who's traditionally known? I mean, you know, that's
just being the bottom feeder.
I mean, because I've been here my whole life, and like you see, I've seen the 0-12 seasons. I've seen the 1-11. Why NMSU over those other schools?
So, you know, it's weird. I think that's God sent. Honestly, like I can't put it anywhere else. I went to a bunch of visits. I visited all those places. I just didn't have that feeling, you know, and it was towards the end of the summer. They're like, we're going to take our unofficial visit to New Mexico State, and I was like, I've never even heard of that place. I'm not even gonna lie. And so we went, and I don't know. It's like I said, I hadn't known much about New Mexico State, and I got there, and it's just like God took over, you know. Yeah. I had that feeling that you can't really describe. And then my mom did too, and just kind of affirmed what I was thinking. And it was, I met with the coaches. I loved it here. They kind of fell in love with the city, the mountains, you know. And from that point on, I knew this is where God wanted me to be. So
I think it's funny because I know a lot of people that like come from out in Texas and those areas. They're like, man, I come here, I've never even seen mountains before. So
yeah, it's crazy.
I know a lot of people say that.
It seems like they all say the same thing. Like, I've never heard of this place before. Because it's really a small city. Like, it's a college town. Like, everybody went to this.
The city revolves around New Mexico State.
Exactly, because then the high schools all feed to the same school. It's pretty. I feel like it's a little bit different than most colleges because there's so many people going to different places. So obviously, you redshirted. Talk about that a little bit. Is it tough to redshirt? Because in a football program, there's 70, 80 guys. In the I don't know how many players are in the program at once. Is it hard maybe being forgot about if that's a possibility? But you're a quarterback, so you're kind of always a focus. So what is it like to redshirt?
It's tough. Yeah. Especially coming from a place where you played a lot of football, and you've never missed a snap. And you come as a red shirt, and it's just it's humbling in a way. And you sit and you're on the scout team and you're doing stuff that you'd never had to do.
Yeah.
You're having to lift before practice, and it's different. But I wouldn't trade it for a world. It made me so hungry. It allowed me to get extra steps on people when I had a little bit more energy than they did on the weekends and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a grind for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, it went by like that, and it was a lot of fun.
It's definitely not easy. I redshirted too. I mean, I've redshirted 2 straight years. I went to a Division II school first, redshirted there, didn't work out, came here, and then was a transfer. So basically, there's another redshirt. It's exhausting. You do stuff you can argue the fact that you were doing more than the players because they're trying to get you ready for the next year.
Yeah.
It's a grind for sure.
So, as a freshman coming into this last season, you were Tyler. You were behind Tyler a lot. You kind of saw he was a 5th-year guy. So a lot of experience. Did you learn a lot from him? And then what do you also like? I know Romero's in there. Genti's been there for a while. Did you learn a lot from those guys?
Definitely. Yeah. From Tyler, we weren't too close. But what I remember learning from Tyler is just how he moved. How his practices went and his feet, and it just the things about a quarterback that you kind of nitpick, and just seeing him and really admiring him and try to emulate his game. He did a lot for me in that aspect. Nick, kind of more of an emotional guy. He was a locker room guy, and just kind of learning the reins about how he took me under his wing, and that was a lot of fun just to be under him and to learn a lot from him.
Cool. So, going into this last season as a freshman, behind Matt Romero, he got off to a rough start, and you got your opportunity. What was that experience like for you, getting thrown in there, and all of a sudden you're out there and you're going out at everybody?
Yeah, so it's funny because that UNM game where I got thrown in there, I was actually I was 3rd string and I was playing scout team safety. I didn't take any reps during the week.
So you just it was just kind of blind. You threw it in there blind.
Yeah. So it was frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like I worked really hard but I had a piece about me, and I knew that I was where I needed to be. So I just kept grinding, and when my opportunity came, I tried to take the best of it, and the guys on the team really embraced me, and the rest is history. So it was a good experience, another humbling experience that kind of led me to where I am now. So.
Yeah, so obviously you started out as not the starter, and you came in. So what's the mindset for a guy as not a starter? How hard is it to muster it up every single day when you know you're maybe not going to get the playing time or the reps that you would like to, especially coming from a state and a program that you came from where you got every snap? How hard is it and how difficult is it, even though now you're on the roster, to try to rev it up every single day?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough,
especially in football.
Yeah, and you're sitting in the meeting rooms and he's talking specifically to the starter. It's tough. It's different. It's something you have to adjust to, but it's also something that you can use. It can fuel you. Instead of really pouting about it, I really just understood that I had to work that much harder to get where I wanted to go. So I used it as fuel, and every day I try to hit the field and get better at something. So
cool. That's right.
So you said you were kind of thrown out to the wolves after you were playing scout safety that way.
That's crazy.
Trying to give him a look. That's what I was doing.
So obviously that's kind of surprising to get thrown in there that week. So do you feel, now that you're the starter, the QB1, do you feel any added pressure? Because obviously being a starter at any Division I football as a quarterback, it's not an easy thing to do. Yeah,
there's pressure, but I think it's important to keep it all in perspective. I love this game and I love what I do, and I know that the sun's gonna rise the next day. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna give everything I have, and I'm trying to make the city proud, everything I have, and understand that comes with failures and that comes with successes. So that's really what my mindset is, and I'm gonna give my best foot forward every single time. So.
That's
Were
awesome.
you shocked when you were named the starter? Even after you obviously played well enough to be named it, but were you still maybe a little bit surprised that he decided to go with the freshman and just be like, hey, let's just run with him? Or were you kind of expect? Obviously, you probably believe in your abilities enough to be pretty confident in yourself, but were you still at least a little bit? Was there a little bit of surprise factor for that?
There was, but it was a long time coming for me. I
Yeah.
felt like I really had the tools to get it done, get the job done, and so when that opportunity came, I just went out there and I did what I practiced, and when he named me as a starter, it didn't really come as a surprise. I was ready for that moment, and I'd been training for that for a long time, redshirt year and all that. So
Yeah, that's not
Definitely.
easy.
So let's rewind. Let's talk about this past season. How did you feel personally, and how did you feel the team did this past season?
So this past season was a bit of a roller coaster. We went out to that 0-4 start, which was really tough, and then I think we read off 2 in a row, and then another win, and then we kind of tapered off toward the end of the season. I feel like it was just a lot of moving parts. A lot of different things were not really heading our direction last year, but I think it fueled us. You talk about this off season, you talk about how we're working. We understand that we underachieved last year, especially with the schedule that we have and looking to the schedule that we have coming up.
It's a tough schedule.
Yeah, so we're excited. We're using that past year as fuel. We know that we didn't perform the best that we could. We left some crumbs on the table, so we're excited for next year, that's for sure.
This is probably a little bit of like closed door stuff. Not many people will know this unless they're in the weight room. But you guys got 2 different shirts when you guys work out. You guys got, I think it's 125 and 127?
112.
112. Okay, so talk about what those mean and talk about why that fuels you guys.
Okay, so the 125 is what the defensive players wear, and that means they were 125th in the nation defensive ranking, which every single time they see it, it's supposed to remind them about how they played last year and how they need to work in that weight room and attack it every single day. The 112 is on the offensive back, so it's meaning turnover margin.
So that's what the 112 is? It's turnover margin?
Turnover margin. And that's just another reminder, visual representation that when we're working and we see somebody slacking, we can't afford that right now. You gotta go out there and attack it every single day. So
That's cool stuff, because usually you don't really see stuff like that. You like to see teams kind of come up with like a slogan or something.
Exactly.
And they go kind of it's kind of bashing against yourself, but at the same time it works. I feel like that's a great.
It's
idea.
definitely cool. Like we talked about it as a team, and after Zach talks about it with us all the time. He's like, we've been lucky to have the success that we've had, and they didn't have the success that they wanted to in terms of analytics and the season and stuff like that. So and he talks about they're hungry and they've already made a lot of progress. So I feel like it's working. I feel like it's definitely made an impact on your guys' program.
no doubt.
So we'll look ahead to this next season. Like you said, it's got another tough schedule coming up. You got teams like Bama. Washington State.
He knows the whole schedule.
Yeah,
he thinks we're gonna go 12-0 every year.
Oh yeah, every year we should go 12-0. But I'm of all the sports, I'm probably a diehard when it comes to our football program. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, of course.
Oh no, bro! I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so I've been here my entire life, and I used to live. My mom and my dad and I used to live right down the road. And we were at every single game.
He would be in there it would be like windy and raining, and he's sitting there with like.
No, it was those November afternoon games when we were like 0-10. And
probably like 100 people there.
It was bad, but no, I think the university kind of revolves around football and basketball, and they're obviously 2 different times a year. So in the fall, all the focus is on the football team. So looking ahead to next year, getting the opportunity to play in Tuscaloosa, what is your thoughts on that? Because that's unreal.
I don't think it'll actually hit me till
Yeah.
I'm there. That's something you dream about doing.
It's
when
crazy.
you're a
Going
kid.
against Tua.
Yeah,
Yep.
you growing up as a kid and you say, Mom, Dad, I want to play on that stage. And that's another reason why I came to Mexico State. I knew I had the opportunity to play big schools. And we look at it as opportunity. We go in there and we play to the highest level we can. We make big plays. We put our name on the map. That's an opportunity for us. We're not going in there scared. We're going in there balls to the wall.
Yeah,
So
that's a huge thing.
Well, that's what I love about this schedule, because everyone's like, we got a tough schedule. It's going to be tough to get 6.
It's probably gonna be like we'll probably be the underdog.
Exactly. But here's the
over
thing.
half, it's different.
You get to go head to head against Bama. You get to go head to head against Washington State, Fresno State, Ole Miss, all these teams. If you win those games, like he said, you put your name on the map, and that's just a bigger opportunity for New Mexico State to get to that point.
Exactly.
So what are you and the guys looking to improve on and focus on next year with this fun schedule you guys got?
So we talked about the shirts. The turnover margin for offense. We really need to get that better. Completions percentage for me. is another big area for me, and just allowing my guys to make explosives. My job is to facilitate the ball, and we've got some guys on the outside that can really make things happen. And getting them the rock and allowing them to move in space. That's what we're looking to do on offense, and then on defense. 125, we're looking just to be solid all the way around, keep guys healthy. That really hurt us last year.
There's a lot of injury stuff going on.
Yeah, so those are, I'd say, the main areas that we're looking for. But, all of us in New Mexico State, we feel like we were under-recruited. We all have a different type of chip on our shoulder. And being able to play those teams that we feel like passed up on us, we're a dog mentality team, so we're excited for that, another opportunity.
So I know I've heard Coach Martin talk about it a lot.
In the little documentary,
it takes a lot to be in New Mexico State football.
Yeah, this place isn't for everybody.
It ain't easy to come to a school who's, like we said, is known as not being the greatest when it comes to football. But it takes like you said, a different mentality to even play for a team like this. Rather, you look at other schools who are consistently 6-6, 7-5, stuff like that. Being at a school like this, it's a lot harder to do that. But like I said, as fan bases, we embrace that, and we love to see you guys work. Like every time I'm over at Fulton all the time, and sometimes I'll go out and look at the football field, and Josh is down there by himself, nobody else in there.
Just throwing to the grass.
Yeah, just working on.
And it's different now because, we won the bowl, and so now expectations are higher, regardless of the roster and regardless of whether people think that we're going to be good or not. Expectations are not to go 3-9 or 2-10 every single year. It's to get there because we've shown that we can do it. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's the goal every year, to make a bowl.
Exactly.
And to add to your point, we have so many guys this offseason doing extra.
Yeah.
And then more guys than I've ever seen. I've been here for 2 years, and it's just kind of contagious, and we got to keep that up, and we will, and it's looking bright for us right now. We just got to keep it going. So.
Cool. Man, I can't wait for football.
Yeah, us too.
He has to control himself because he's on the field, and he's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I can't be I gotta be neutral when it comes to celebrating. So I'm down there and we score a touchdown. I'm like,
Because who's been on ESPN before on the field, giving these dudes high fives after touchdowns? It's honestly funny.
Yeah.
So we talked about this stuff from current career. So you're only gonna be a sophomore, obviously, redshirt sophomore. But what's next for you? What do you want in terms of what do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered here in New Mexico State? What's after New Mexico State? What's after what's down the line for Josh Adkins?
Yeah. Obviously, I want to have a great career here. I want to give the fans of the city a lot of success. Hopefully I can help do that, and that's my goal first and foremost right now is to really focus on that. Be the best player I can be here. Be the best community guy I can be here. And then obviously my dreams are to take it to the NFL. That's always been a dream of mine since I was a kid. I remember telling my mom about it. And that's my goal right now is to focus. Obviously, I'm getting my work done in academics because I know that football is I'm gonna have to hang it up eventually. But right now, that's my focus. Trying to give everything I have to New Mexico State, be the best Aggie I can be, and then hopefully see where the future can take us. But yeah, no doubt.
So that's I think for you especially, I think you have the path set up for you perfectly.
All the tools.
You've got Chase Holbrook on the staff, who was a freaking great quarterback when he played.
Mm-hmm.
You were under Tyler Rogers. You've seen a lot, and you're getting starting time as a freshman going into your sophomore year.
Yeah, this time's invaluable for young guys.
I think, and we're rooting for you, man. We're hoping you can get, because you're seeing a lot of New Mexico State guys starting to make their names in the draft.
No
Because
doubt.
before that, you would hear no New Mexico State
Oh,
players.
no.
And now you've got guys consistently every year: Larry, Jaleel, T. Hanks,
Devon.
Ron House, all those guys.
There's all sorts of guys. And
Yeah, man, we're pulling for you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
we got a few extra things that have nothing to do with football. So
My favorite.
yeah. So this has to do with the program. Who's the funniest dude on the team?
The funniest dude on the team. I'd probably say it's between OJ Clark and Anthony Muse.
Okay.
Both those guys are pretty hilarious. OJ picks on me. We'd be joking about each other. But OJ's hilarious.
And that's the
no
dude
doubt.
you're throwing the rock to, right?
No doubt. You gotta have a good connection with those guys.
That's good.
You gotta give him the ball.
Yeah.
So then we'll go. What's the best moment? There's like you said, it's an up and down year. So what's the best moment from the year?
From the year, I would probably say just winning the Liberty game at home. It was
That was exciting.
Yeah, it was just kind of a firework game, a bunch of scoring. I thought it was a game where I really just settled in, and then it was a lot of fun, a lot of scoring.
It was a lot of
passing.
scoring.
Yeah, it was.
And that UTEP game was fun too.
No doubt.
Pulling out
Yeah.
sealing the deal. And
Yeah.
always getting a win on the road, man.
Yeah.
Especially against a rival.
Against UTEP.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was a lot of fun too.
It was big time.
So this is our last thing. We do it every podcast. We ask every person their top 5. We'll go, since you're a football player, we'll go top 5 football players of all time.
Football players of all time.
Or should we do his favorite or all time?
Yeah, no, let's. Okay, we can do top 5 football players of all time, but then I want to hear top 5 basketball players. Okay. You're a basketball guy.
Yeah,
To be honest, I follow basketball a lot more.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
what
I
I
really
think
do.
you're a diehard Spurs guy.
Yeah,
So
I
wanna
love
hear-
the Spurs.
I want to hear your top 5 football players and basketball players.
Top 5 football players. Do you want quarterbacks or what do you want?
No, it's just all, your favorite.
Whatever you
So
got.
they
My
can be
favorite.
all quarterbacks if you want.
Okay. My favorite. I'm going to put Peyton Manning.
There you go.
I've been a Peyton Manning guy my whole life.
Yes, sir.
I love Peyton
Yeah.
Manning.
Yep.
Number 2. Jeez, I've never thought about this
Tough,
before.
right? Yeah, I mean, you always think about
We're
basketball.
asking tough questions over here.
Yeah. Number 2. I was fascinated with Marion Barber. You guys ever remember
Oh, yeah.
him?
Oh, yeah.
I loved watching him,
Okay.
but he's really not in the top 5 conversation. But I mean, I loved Jerry Rice's work ethic.
Yeah.
Talk about Jerry Rice.
Big time.
He's big time. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Just the things he does year in, year out. I mean, he's 40-year-old just slinging the rock.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Right.
insane.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's crazy he's still able to do what he's doing.
No doubt.
One more? What's the
yeah.
last one?
Aaron Rodgers.
There you
Like, I love what he can do. You know, he's so gifted. You know, just being able to throw
He's
the ball
tough,
on
too.
different platforms. I love watching his film and watching him play. So
So talking about watching film, is there a specific quarterback, like you just said, that do you watch any film on
Like,
NFL quarterbacks?
who do you try to mirror your game after?
So really, I like to just sit in front of the TV and listen to Tony Romo commentate.
It's my guy.
Yeah,
That's my
I mean
guy.
that guy just he says what's gonna happen.
He
before
calls
it
every
happens.
single time.
Yeah, I know. So
It's crazy.
So
It's crazy.
so on Sundays, that's where I like to sit down and I like to watch Tony Romo. But we also have databases where I can watch some quarterbacks. I really love to watch Carson Wentz play.
Okay.
I think he has a really nice game. And yeah, I watched a lot of him last year. So
Cool. So we'll switch it on over, like you said, basketball.
I'm
guy.
expecting like a 60 or 75% Spurs.
Let's hear it.
number 1, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
I gotta put Tim Duncan out there,
Timmy
number
D.
1. You know, that's my guy. Number 2, I'm gonna put LeBron James.
Okay.
Just because
You're a
of
LeBron guy.
I love he's a great basketball player, but what he does off the court, I think he's a mogul. I think he's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
He's done a lot for the shut up and dribble, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
He's a big political guy. Number 3, MJ. I gotta put MJ.
Yeah.
He's my dad. I mean, I've watched him on YouTube and stuff, but my dad used to just tell me all the time.
That's kind of the generation now. None of us really ever saw him play.
And that's
Yeah.
why all the old heads think it's crazy that we don't choose them, but we go by what our
Oh,
own
we've
environment
seen
is. And so that's why LeBron, Kobe, you can probably put KD up there. Those are the best players of our generation, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
no doubt. And then number 4, I'm gonna put Manu Ginobili. That's
Okay.
my guy right
Classic,
there.
man. It's a
I
classic.
love Manu Ginobili.
All time Spurs. Yep.
It's funny because you just watch him play. He's a different type of player. And, And he used to drive Coach Popovich crazy.
Oh, yeah. Because
dude.
for people that don't know, in the pros, you don't really yell at your players. Because they're professional athletes. They make more than you, probably double or triple the amount that you do.
Yeah.
Pop is the highest paid coach in the league at like 7 or 8 million. I think he's actually at 10 now, but Pop would yell at these dudes, and he would go off on Ginobili because Ginobili's he's overseas guy.
Argentina.
Yeah, so he's Argentinian. He's crazy He's crazy. He plays a wild style of
Like a
basketball.
bat out of hell.
Oh,
He just does what he feels like. And Coach Pop hates it. It's so
I
system
hated
oriented.
it.
Yeah.
I love Ginobili. Who would I say 5th right now? Steph Curry. It's just his
so
range. He's just insane.
He's got parking lot range.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Obviously you were part of you were kind of an adult whenever the good Spurs years were, like the past, like 2013 to 15. So what is your whole take on Kawhi?
I can't stand that guy.
Oh, you don't like him anymore?
I can't stand that guy. To a city that treated him as the best,
Yeah,
we
no
literally
doubt.
loved.
No doubt.
Kawhi.
I love hearing takes from Kawhi from Spurs fans.
Yeah,
Most people hate him now.
Yeah.
Especially how he went out.
We loved Kawhi, there's no reason for him to be, talking bad about us, whatever was going in. We just kind of felt personal, he's leaving, and but that 2014 run, I remember I was at the game and I think we sealed the deal, and it's like,
Damn, you were there?
yeah, we were on the highway, just people getting out their cars, it's the only pro sports team we had.
Yeah.
And the Spurs are everything to us, you know. We wait for basketball season. Like, literally, I had tears in my eyes when we lost. Like, we weren't even supposed to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We weren't even supposed to make the playoffs.
So you really are a diehard fan.
Yeah,
because it means something to you.
Yes, that's our team. You know, I mean, I wait for basketball season. I literally pay for NBA League Pass. I just sit there and I love to watch it. Yeah, I love the Spurs, man. Like everything. I mean, you ask anybody on the team, I go in after we win, I'm just talking it up. You know? Oh, you from Denver? Oh, yeah. I just every day, you know. It's Spurs.
It's a good time right now too.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit about the playoffs then, real quick. I mean, obviously the Spurs probably had the most entertaining series in the first round. Mm-hmm. But now that they're out, what do you think it's going to look like?
I really think Portland's going to get it done in that series. Didn't they go to quadruple overtime?
Yeah, last night
was unreal.
I
was sitting there watching the game by myself, just like, this is still going.
Yeah,
it was like 12:30.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like glued to the screen because that was one of the better games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was
so you got Portland coming out of that, and you got Golden State, Houston.
Yeah, Golden State. And then I think Buzzsaw, Golden State going to win the Western Conference again. Okay. I'm really excited to watch the Eastern Conference. I want.
It's open.
Yeah, I really think. The 76ers have the second best roster in the league right now. You know,
we've talked about it before. Ethan's like
from top to bottom. Those teams are stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked. You know, if I think they're a really immature team, which can hurt them.
Yeah.
You know, they try to do Golden State like things where they just check out for a little bit, which you can't do because they're so young right now. But I mean, talking about their talent, it's insane.
Yeah.
And I really don't think that the Warriors have anybody to really check Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that would be tough.
You know, so if they make it to the championship, I think it's a Game 7. I think that's a lot more entertaining than people think.
We need a Game 7 in the NBA.
Yeah,
we need something now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the whole Eastern Conference. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, I want them to beat the hell out of the Raptors. And then
only because of Kawhi.
Yeah. But I love Danny Green. I have a Danny Green jersey. Every time he shoots, I'm like, just let him make it. You know? That's my guy.
Yeah,
you know,
Danny Green's a good dude.
He used to go to the clubs in San Antonio, just like he used to go to Club Rio. You're on the Spurs basketball team, and you're clubbing it up in San Antonio.
That's crazy.
But
what a dude.
Yeah. And then I think the Bucks will get it done against the Celtics.
Yeah. So who you have in the finals then? So what you got for the rest of for the finals?
For the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, Golden State and Sixers.
Okay.
That's my take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a good one.
God, that'd be interesting. Hopefully I would like to see that.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
For sure. But I think that about wraps up our interview. Josh, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck next season, man.
Thank y'all.
Like you said, we're rooting for you, so
Thank you.
Go get
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was Josh Adkins. I said alrighty again. That's my go-to. Alrighty. What'd you guys think about, or Ethan, you weren't there, T. What'd you think about that interview?
It was good. I think that Josh is a really cool dude.
Yep.
Like you said earlier, he's only a sophomore, so it's going to be exciting next 3 years for Aggie football. I think he's a humble guy. I think that I think he's confident in his abilities, but he's a humble guy, which is kind of you don't really see that a whole lot, especially with quarterbacks.
Especially at the D1 level.
At the D1 level, yeah, because there's only one.
I don't care what school, Alabama, New Mexico State. You get a lot. You're the main guy.
There's one quarterback that plays that's on the field at one time. You know what I mean? So.
And the cool thing about Josh is every time I'm at Fulton, not every time, but most of the time I'm at the Fulton Center. If you guys don't know, the Fulton Center is where the athletic department works, and it's attached to the football stadium.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, my ankle just dropped. Every time I look out there, the dude is out there by his complete self. Not even a receiver to throw to. He's out there doing footwork drills. Stepping over.
He's definitely a hard worker.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get thrown in there just because they were out of quarterbacks.
Exactly.
He was ready for the moment, and I think he's the type of quarterback. The way his style is, pocket passer, pro style quarterback. He's the one that can get it done for us. He has a true style, and I think that he can really. I feel like he can make he can do a lot of damage for us next year or this upcoming year, and for years to come. Like Russ said, he's only a sophomore, which means we got 3 years
to play quarterback here. Especially at this university and in this city.
So much pressure.
So much pressure because there's so much negative
connotation,
about the football program. So if you can have it takes the right attitude and the right style of play to play quarterback in Mexico State.
And not just quarterback, to be an Aggie football player.
Yeah, just play in general. I mean, there's so many guys that come in and like you have to grind, you have to be humble, you just have to go about your business and
have thick skin
because you have to win people over here.
Oh yeah,
like that's not where it's not Alabama or a SEC school. Like, hey man, you're here for a reason. Like you're good, and we already like you. No, you got to win people over here when you come to New Mexico State.
Oh yeah, because everyone just has this immediate thought that he's at New Mexico State,
And even people, which I hate the most about it, is people in Las Cruces are like, "Oh, our football team sucks." I'm like, dude,
I just want a bowl game.
And I hate when people.
Why don't you put on pads
Exactly.
and go out there and get hit by one of them?
Even against teams like Alcorn State and Anchorage.
They're D1 football players.
Yeah, they're legit. And my
Have you
thing
ever
is,
been hit by a D1 football player?
Cameron Miller.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
I got hit by a football player that ended up being Division 1.
Yeah,
in fifth grade.
I got hit by a guy that went and played at Arizona, and that dude broke my wrist whenever he hit me.
We played against a D1 football player, Henry Haddis. Ricky Ralph?
Oh, dude. I played against
Never played him in football.
I played against him in football.
Does he play?
Yeah, he plays at Stanford, yeah.
He was. Oh, he plays at Stanford?
Yeah, he's at Stanford.
I know he's at Stanford, but does he play?
Bro, I'm pretty sure he got some snaps.
He was only a sophomore.
Yeah. He, whenever we played him in my senior year, this guy's hand, when we were shaking hands after the game,
I'm telling you.
I have pretty big hands.
Yeah.
Sick brag.
Thanks, man. This guy's hand made mine look like I was like 7.
Well, like I said, he made basketball look like a tennis ball.
Yeah, he's got those type of hands.
Yeah.
That's a big dude.
That was Josh Adkins, the man this next upcoming year and years to come. So we were wishing the best for him and
room for him for sure.
That wraps up our podcast number 9.
It's crazy.
We're still going strong, guys. We're about to we're going through finals week, so we're all pretty stressed out. But we're gonna be right back here on Friday. So make sure you guys are tuned in, locked in, ready to go.
Good luck to those that are taking finals.
Yep.
Good luck taking finals. It's not easy.
Yeah, we got a lot of dope stuff planned for you guys in the summer, so we're going to have a lot more time on our hands. We're actually going to be making some trips this summer to a couple different spots around the country to interview some really cool people. So stay tuned because, like we've said multiple times, we're not stopping. Yeah. Even if you don't listen, we're doing it for ourselves.
We appreciate those
Thank you,
that are showing support, listening in every week. We appreciate it. It's awesome that you guys have been so receptive to us and encouraging. I mean, we're just figuring this out. We're going day by day.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan just texted us yesterday and said that someone who has no clue who he is came up to him while he was at work saying how much he loves the podcast. And
I don't know how he knew.
That's what we've been saying. Like, we're coming. How are people that we kind of know, who we don't really follow on social media, but we kind of know from the university? How are they finding the podcast? Like, where are they getting it from?
And that's the thing. We're expanding our reach. We're pushing 300 followers on Twitter.
Yeah,
which is crazy because it's like I'm looking at sick brag, but I'm looking at sick non-brag, sick diss on some of the other people I follow on Twitter. My friends, they don't have as many followers as this podcast does. So it shows
what a diss.
It shows, but
you heard it here first, guys. Bryce is a
hater.
Not most people. Most people are above 300 followers, but I'm saying some.
But the fact that we've done it in less than a month, you know what I mean? We've done it.
Yeah, we're right at a month, and here's our next proposal. We want you guys to become a supporter of this podcast. You can do a monthly contribution. I know it's tough, throwing money at us.
Yeah,
we're 20 years old, 21 years old, but we're really trying to go big with this. We're spending out of pocket to buy microphones. We're doing stuff like that just because we want it to be a great experience for you guys and for us. So there's 3 options. You can make a monthly contribution. We'll post the link of 99 cents per month, $5 per month, or $10 per month. The first one sounds a little more reasonable. And
for those of you that donate $9.99 a month, I will personally find you
and give you a hug.
I will give you the best hug you've ever had in your life.
Ethan's a good hugger.
Yeah. And you can pay with credit card. You can link that. You can pay with Google Pay.
Apple Pay.
Yeah. Just but if you guys want to go and help us get to where we want to get to, and hopefully maybe get some merch out or get stuff like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, like this.
Have merch in the work.
Yeah, this money's not going just to our pockets. No. All the money that you guys would be giving us, or all the support, the donations and stuff like that, it would be going straight to getting more equipment.
Exactly.
It'd be going to travel funds to get to go different places to interview different guests.
Yeah.
It'd be going to get better technology, stuff like that.
We have our own source of income. We all do our own thing for ourselves, but when it comes to making money for this podcast, we're going to specifically put it back to this podcast
exactly
and put it back out to you guys. So yeah, if you guys want to just go ahead and become a supporter, quote unquote, of the Sports Triad podcast, you can sign up and
then
give us your monthly contribution.
Yep. Check our Twitters as well. We'll be talking about it.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram. Another plug real quick. Our Twitter is sports_triad, and our Instagram is the Sports Triad. So go follow us for all of the news you need from us, where to listen to us, how to find us, all that stuff. We've got good stuff. So
I got one more joke for you guys.
Okay.
Here we go.
What is it? 10-6?
11-6. So I bought some shoes from a drug dealer the other day.
Okay.
I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day.
This doesn't count. Right?
That's not a joke, though. That's not something we can get.
It's not 12-6 now.
It's not 12-6.
It's still 11.
That's just a joke.
Say it again.
I bought some shoes from a drug dealer the other day. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day.
I hate you.
Yeah, that's
okay.
enough.
All right. That's it for this podcast. We out.
Bye, buddy.
Later's puke.